All right, welcome back everyone to the Daily Live, where we are reclaiming being the supreme authority of your reality using the law of assumption and revealing all the different unconsented beliefs and assumptions that keep us from totally being the operant power of our reality. If you are new, be sure to go back to the very beginning. We've been doing this daily, so you can follow along with the workshop that I will be continuing. And you'll see it's like every day there's new activation. Every day there's new just evolutions that I myself am playing with, experiencing, and then sharing so you can activate with me. You can reclaim your authority in tangent. We can be synchronistic with it, right? So what we are diving into today, yesterday we talked more about, again, what to do when the world is showing you, especially those unconscious belief systems, the ones that we had growing up that we didn't consent to, but they were there. They were kind of everywhere, nonetheless, and they are deeply power stripping. They're very based on second causes and external God and different factors, right? Obviously, everyone's going to have a different upbringing, but ultimately, unless you are taught from the get-go or really just encouraged in your power, I do believe we know this from the get-go, unless you are encouraged to generate your awakened imagination through the senses, to talk in decrees, to live a life of certainty, to know that you are the only will in your reality, that no one else has free will, that your inner conversations create your circumstances, so on and so forth. States create on and out with law of assumption, like the essentials of law of assumption. By the way, if you are new to that at all, my courses, they're all on my website. The Manifest Together library is an archive of like everything I've done, all the courses I've created, the revision courses, meditations, and I definitely have like a basics of law of assumption in there. And as we know, again, unless you're raised knowing it, the basics are a lot. The basics are a completely transformative rewiring of your system. And when I say that I'm reminding myself 24/7 of this, I am, right? I am rewiring this to always know what it is, to live from the end, to know the pearl of great price, to be in Barbados, if you will, to know what it is to decree instead of living in states of like hesitation or uncertainty, to properly know how to revise or use the tones of reality, to know what it is to like move through states, to know what it is to understand the bridge of events that's occurring. These are all terms that in the Manifesting Together library, I think it's called like Power of Law of Assumption e-course. It's right in there. They're all put together now. I go through the basics, but there's a lot, and it's something that is so worth reviewing every single day until it is back to second nature. Okay. Now, what we've been focusing on that I want to keep expanding on along with this workshop, and this workshop, the newer material is not in the Manifest Together library, like all on this channel. There's two courses. It's the Reclaiming the Throne, which is all the scripts I've been making, some pretty explicit and cool stuff for love. And then the other one is the Unmasking Manipulation course. That has this whole workshop in there and a lot of really wild scripts and decrees and telepathic commands that they're not always YT appropriate, but I find the more explicit, the more just straight up it gets, the easier my mind can digest it. And it's more realistic to just like real life where it's not all necessarily PG. It's not all G-rated, right? Okay. So as we continue today and we go into generating more of the decrees, but generating the senses as well, I can't get over how important this is becoming for me. And essentially that, yeah, my senses, and I'm assuming others can relate, were very much taught to be put into a place of passivity, where we were consuming knowledge, being told what to do, being told to memorize things, being told to, memorize things that whether you cared about it or not, you had to do it. Then you got a test and you implemented based on how well you can memorize things. And there's a lot of factors, obviously, in that. And then a teacher graded you, based on their style of what was right or not. Now, growing up, I had so many issues with this, just so many issues. My report cards were pretty rough. I remember the teachers literally writing at 5 years old, she does what she wants. She won't stop a task if I ask her to. Very, I had my own thoughts on all this, and I'm assuming others like me would too, right? There is that part of us that came in with our core intact, being like, this doesn't seem right. What is this? This doesn't seem like who I am, what it's meant to be, the values of this world do not reflect me. They really don't. And I used my imagination for a lot of different things. I loved using my imagination, but it was never imprinted in me to use it to generate my reality. There's songs and things like that in kids' movies, but it wasn't explicit. And then obviously we have an upbringing then where the teachers are like, but actually I'm the authority. Or caretakers or mom and dad are like, well, I'm the authority. And on. We're taught to give our power up consistently and to have these passive senses where we're not using them properly. So much of what reclaiming our authority is reparenting and reactivating all these dormant powers we've always had that make decreeing a lot easier. And just to kind of reiterate, decreeing, and you'll hear this with Neville too, it's living a life of certainty. I need to look up the quote, but basically once Neville said is if you know your God, it's about confidence in oneself. God, another way he explains God, is your state of being. And there's a very simple way of looking at all this, where either you are God of your reality or there's a God out there in second causes. So either you're living in confidence and certainty, or you're living in a world of second causes. And where we have to kind of check all the places within us, these inner conversations that go into unending questions, and kind of undo all of the meditations you might be doing, all the assumptions, all the affirmations you might be doing, is if we still have all these unchecked in the background conversations where we're still asking our reality for permission, where it's a dead reality. It's a reality of past assumptions. And we're just using the senses to passively kind of go through life instead of activating them and using them just as consistently as you breathe, as consistently as you do anything. That is what we are coming back to. We're awakening the powers we've always held to live in certainty. And part of that certainty is I want my eyes generating my wish fulfilled all the time. I want my ears hearing it all the time. I want to be tasting it. I want to be smelling it. I want to be feeling it until I'm in that place on whatever it is of certainty. We're yes, even if the opposite is shown, nothing moves me. That's what the active imagination does. It normalizes it to such a degree that you really see the world for what it is. It's an old bridge. It's dead. It's malleable. It's changeable. And it decides nothing for you. You make the meaning of it. You are the only one decreeing. That's it. And so as we continue on this next part of the workshop, and we continue to use the ears to generate it, the eyes to see it, the hands to mold it, right? To taste it, to smell it, to activate that now. You are normalizing living in the end of it right now. So you're not watching this to get something, right? We are activating our senses together. We're remembering all this. And we're doing it from a place of the money's in the bank. The SP is with you. The ring's on the finger, if that's a thing. The children, the family, that's here. Because if we have the desire, remember, it is already done. It's on its way. But if it's not instantly projecting out, right? If it's not here, see what, and some things are, obviously. All it means is there's just some old assumption still echoing, still like holding the space of the wanted reality. So again, we're not doing this to make something happen. And even the senses, it's like we're not doing it to create something that wasn't there. We're revealing what was always there. And The Power of Awareness, which is one of my favorite books by Neville, he speaks really well to this, that like at every point, we are just aware of what our current assumptions or blueprint will allow us to be aware of. Doesn't mean that the person isn't right there too. The money's not right there too. The wealth, the family, the health, the recognition. It is. But we have to have the eyes to see it, the ears to hear it, the tongue to taste it, the nose to smell it, the touch, the power, the certainty to bring the unseen into the seen, to reveal it, because it was always there. All realities exist at once. And what we're about to do more of right now is, again, stripping away wherever we were still allowing this outer world that is dead, just old assumptions, where we're still submitting to that and seeing that as real and just passively being with it versus decreeing it, revealing it, and always being the one and only operant power. So let's go further into the workshop. And as we do this, I'm going to be decreeing my own senses, right? To see what I want it to be, to hear what I want to hear, to feel what I want to feel, to smell it, to taste it, to touch it, to not just passively do this, but to generate, to reveal what was always waiting for me, to rearrange the mind to always be doing this and not miss one more second of living in a reality of uncertainty. I'm going into certainty because I'm the only one that can decree, that can decide. And it's only one of two answers. Am I the operant power? Is it done? Or am I waiting on a dead world, right? So let's bring it to life. So let's go into this part. And as we talk about, right, where, again, it felt like manipulation, or we were trying to allow a dead world to be alive and be in control of us, we're seeing it for what it is. We're unraveling the lies that couldn't hold and had no right being the authority anyway. And we're activating our senses to decree, to come into our rightful place, to hold the throne, as we've talked about. All right, let's go into it.
You guide them through examples of how they now react to attempts of manipulation, their newly revised states of being in action. When someone tries to guilt trip you, when they try to make you feel bad for setting boundaries, you don't react with doubt or fear. You say your voice a fierce, wild command. You stand firm in your power, knowing that their attempts have no power over you. You feel the truth in your bones, that you are the authority, that you are the one who decides how you feel, how you respond. You don't fall for their games. You see through them and you stay centered in your own truth. You see the understanding settle into their faces, the knowledge that they are no longer victims, no longer controlled by the lies and manipulation of others. When someone tries to isolate you, to make you feel small, unimportant, you don't shrink back. You continue, voice a low, seductive growl. You rise, you expand, you command the space with your presence. You remind yourself that you are the queen, the dominatrix of your reality, and that no one, absolutely no one, can diminish your power. You don't need their approval, their validation, because you validate yourself. You see yourself as the most important person in the room, and you watch as the world reflects that back to you. Night.
Okay. We're going to, again, do what we did yesterday, where I'm going to replay that again in just a moment. But I want to activate, and we are activating, right? The eyes, the ears, the nose, the taste, the touch, the smell, the senses, here and now in this moment where you are, to actually generating that state of being of being larger than the outer world, of seeing the guilt, of seeing the smallness, the isolation, whatever it is that was playing out, and stripping that of its power. And in that moment, recognizing I am bigger than this outer world or others who are just reflections of me, have no actual free will, cannot make me feel anything I don't want to feel, which, by the way, was a wild concept to me. That was, in moments still, it's such a liberating and freeing concept to really take back the power that you were giving to a reflection in other. But it's so important. And then to feel that, yes, you are the most important person in your world, because you are essentially the only thinker, the only consciousness, the only one decreeing in your world. Everyone else is reflecting whatever assumption or state or conversation you've given to them. And so part of being the most important person in your world, you might notice if there's any thoughts around that, about being told like it's bad to think that way. A lot of conditions around that, right? Which, again, in the Unmasking course, I really go into that and the telepathic commands to get really bold with that one. But yes, we've been taught, conditioned, that thinking you're the most important person in the world, instead of neutrally just seeing it as fact, if you are the operant power, there could be this whole discourse on that means you're better than others and that means you're going to hurt others. You have to see it for what it is, okay? And so with your own maturity and wisdom, when you are the most important person in your world, does that actually mean that others will be diminished? I mean, you can do it that way, but if you really are here to activate your imagination and really see the responsibility for what it is, it actually allows everyone to rise with you, to be at their best with you. But it comes with what could seem like a contradiction of, yeah, you are the most important. You have to recognize you are the only thinker. You are perfection. You are wholeness. You hold the keys to everything. The money, the wealth, the freedom, your person, all of it. You cannot give that up to others anymore or to an outer world. And you have to be courageous enough to feel what it's like to be the most important person in the world in every moment, and that your world is just reflecting you. So it's very much common sense. But as you do that, and you're not giving up your power to others that are not equipped to have that power in your world, that is the most loving thing you can do, if that's important to you. And so let's do this again, but I want you to, again, see the symbols of this, hear it, taste it, touch it. See it with others, instead of others holding a spot of guilting you, of trying to isolate you or make you feel small. I want you to imagine like taking that power back, where they can all relax and be like, cool, we just want to like serve you. We just wanted you to know you are the most important power. We didn't want to hold that. And find the images that obviously are in tune with you, but give yourself the importance of this with the senses here and now, and seeing the relief in others that they don't have to carry around, you know, I have to be the villain in your story all the time, or whatever it is. And it's not a moral thing. It is what it is. So let's listen again. Imagine it, taste it, touch it, feel it, hear it from others. Hear them telling you, you are the most important. We are just reflecting you. We actually have no will here. We're just reflecting your assumption of me. Let them give that power back to you and feel it. And the part of you, if there's a younger child in you that still kind of feels victimized, let them receive it too. Give them their little crown or whatever symbol of authority, but give them the power back. All right, let's listen one more time. Awakened imagination, totally activated with it.
When someone tries to isolate you, to make you feel small, unimportant, you don't shrink back. You continue, you voice a low, seductive growl. You rise, you expand, you command the space with your presence. You remind yourself that you are the queen, the dominatrix of your reality, and that no one, absolutely no one, can diminish your power. You don't need their approval, their validation, because you validate yourself. You see yourself as the most important person in the room, and you watch as the world reflects that back to you. Night. As the session ends.
So I'd love to know in the comments what symbols came through, what you generated, what you heard, what you felt, what you tasted, what you touched. Like really activate these dormant senses those are the tones of reality, right? That is what can generate it all right now. And in every moment you are taking back this power that was yours to begin with, and give it back to yourself, give it back to your younger self, stripping the circumstances in the outer world to what it always was. We are just revealing, again, like a house of cards. It was never meant to hold this authority. It was just meant to reflect your assumptions, your conditioning, and as we take it back, it can then reflect us, finally, right? It can reveal underneath. And so here's one more you can do right now. As you imagine, and remember, when we imagine, that is our senses tuning into our larger fourth dimensional reality. That is more powerful. It is more real. That is now what's coming through. We're not doing this to escape. We're not doing it to pretend. We are doing it from a place of certainty that when I do this, this is the truth. Feel like what feels like truth in your core, in your body. And so when you come into that place of certainty, where something that used to make you feel small and intimidated or isolated, you rose, you got bigger than it, because you're always bigger than it. You saw the reflections for what it was, you took it back, you took back your authority and your power. That's the decree, right? Like, I'm bigger than all of this. It's all my consciousness. I'm bigger than any circumstance. Certainty, that's it. That's the decree. Everyone that has ever reflected, somewhere I unknowingly gave up power, has now given it back to me. That's the decree. And then let now your imagination have it reveal what was underneath that. When you are always the most important person in your world, feel that, like, go into the posture of it, taste it, touch it, hear it, breathe into it. What does the mirror reflect? If you are the most important person in your world, which you are, you're decreeing that. What does the mirror have to reveal? Are the accounts empty or full? The food you eat, is it to your preference or not? The work you do, is it satisfying or not? The relationships you have, do they make you feel big or small? Are they reciprocal or not? Again, if you're the most important person in the world, it's an obvious answer. The results you see in your world, the praise, the recognition, the status with your person, with your family, is it what you decree and what you desire or not? And if it's not, then you're still not. Essentially just acknowledging that you are the most important person in your world, that you are the only one that can decree this and make it happen. You're still trying to give like a paper crown to the outer world. So allow that to be so simple. And obviously the challenge is to get the conditioning of your senses to always be active. No more passivity. This is very much active imagination. This is showing what was waiting for you, but generating it, observing it, being in that state, holding the throne. And so as you go into your day, your night, whatever, notice all the places where the outer world is more important than you. Take that back. That's never the truth. And wherever there is still this what if, will it, is it, certainty. Am I the most important person in my world? Yes or no? Yes? Okay. So are my desires done or not? They're done. So are the accounts full? Yes. Am I seeing them? Okay, I see them. Can I touch it? Yes. Can I feel it? Yes. It's always a feeling, by the way, of freedom, relief. It's always a feeling, and it's always an expression of, I'm unlimited. Is my person here in the way I want them or not? If I'm the most important person in my world, then yes, they are. Are they treating me as such? Yes. All right, let me see it, let me hear it, let me feel it, let me touch it, let me taste it, let me have that reciprocated, let me hear that from them, let me hear that acknowledged. And then in every moment, until we get back into that normalized state of course, my wish is fulfilled, of course it's done, of course my decrees are certain, there's no options, and of course my senses can bring it into being here and now, no matter what. Until then, it's going to be uncertain until there's a certainty that you are the operant power. Your awakened imagination creates reality, and it's done. But the good news is it's only two choices. So just keep choosing you. You are the most important. Choose actively generating it, seeing it, being in it, holding it. That's the most important thing to do. Nothing else is more important than you and you generating your wish fulfilled at all times. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and we will do more tomorrow.